Welcome to Koco's Corner. I'm the huge one, Dave Koco from Kocosports.com, KOCOsports.com, or Kocosports.net. It takes you to the same place. It's where the world comes to kick ass. You're home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. This is our weekly main event review, and as always, we ask you down in the comments, please put win, loss, or tie what you thought of this show. I'm going to give it a win. But with that said, a little asterisk next to win. It's a win for main event. People always ask, the first question they ask for the C, B, and even D shows is it worth your time watching? It had a lot of short matches, and the short matches weren't too bad. So if you have an extra hour, it's definitely not can't miss television. It's not that. But if you have an extra hour and like short matches, then main event is for you. I'm giving it a win. Now, let's break it down. All right. First off, the worst segment of the night. I don't know if it was worse. It depends on your sense of humor. To me, it's the opening segment reminds me of a stand-up comedian. The first night you see him, let's say, no one ever does this, but I've done this before because I'm an idiot. If there's a stand-up comedian in your town, and you're like, wow, I can go. You know, I got free tickets from radio. I'm going to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday, you're laughing your ass off. You're like, this motherfucking comedian is the greatest. I had a great time. And Saturday, you're like, all right, yeah, I know most of the jokes, but I still enjoyed it. Not bad. It was a fun night out. Then you go back Sunday, and you're like, fuck you. I've heard all your fucking jokes. Get off the stage. What am I doing with my life? What are you doing with your life? That's what this segment reminded me of, because it was The Miz and Mizdow, but this time Mizdow was dressed up as Sheamus. It was pretty funny if you're 3 years old, you know, or have a 3-year-old type sense of humor. You're like, ha, 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 look at him. And it's definitely a stand-up comedy routine on a Sunday night. You've already seen it 2 other nights. You're done. He was acting like Sheamus. And no one was really into it except when he kind of broke character. He's like, and that's one hell of a great stunt double you have, and fans went crazy because, you know, the part that pisses me off about the Sandow situation is, you know, there's some fucking punk-ass writer who got his education because his mommy sent him to fucking college and he couldn't fucking write anywhere else, going, he's over because of me. Or like, you got these WWE defenders or WWE fucking scumbags inside the system like, well, that was part of our plan. Our plan was to give you such a bad gimmick and people still loved you that they would go. It was all part of the plan. Sometimes Triple H and WWE remind me of fucking Phineas and Ferb cartoon. There was this alien, and I've said this before in the podcast, but I figured we got enough new viewers. But not on main event. I feel like I'm a stand-up comedian. Let me tell the same joke that I told 7 years ago. And Phineas and Ferb, there's this alien who comes down and destroys everything, and they get away. And he's like, that's all part of the plan. He's like, destroying your ship and letting them get away was part of your plan? Shut up. Like, that's what Triple H reminds me of. But yeah, it was a bit stale. Sheamus does come out, and Sheamus is just, he's that annoying fucking bully big fucking dude in high school that is not fucking funny at all. Like, they're trying to give Cesaro Sheamus's real gimmick. He's like, I'm funny, get it? No, you're not. You're just fucking huge, and people are fucking giggling at you because they don't want to get their ass whooped. You're not fucking funny, you Irish fuck. But he comes out, and it went from, this is complete fucking garbage to, yeah, it's not too bad. Sandow was acting like the stunt double of Sheamus. It was pretty funny. Sheamus kept getting interrupted, and then Sheamus beat up Sandow, and The Miz escaped. And I think, I don't know why I said I think. They announced that Sheamus and The Miz are going to battle for the title at the next pay-per-view. So, I don't know. It was one of those things. It was a good thing that drug on way too long. And of course, you know, hopefully Sandow could get into a way better gimmick. It picks up from here. You had R-Truth defeat Tyson Kidd. They really, really are heavy into the storyline of Natalya and Tyson Kidd. Michael Cole and the announcer were fighting what it's like to be married and not be married. And Natalya, who's never tried to help Tyson Kidd, out of nowhere just comes up on the ropes like a complete fucking dumbass. And granted, it's all kayfabe-ish, but still, you're like, what the fuck? Why? Like, everyone's like, well, it's just a fucking kayfabe. No one does that. Like, I hate in fucking wrestling where you're like, oh, that character's fucking stupid. They would never do that. If you're writing a book, a television show, a movie, even reality television, they'd be like, all right, the character wouldn't do that. Don't do that. Because that's called the skill of telling a story. It's a skill of fucking writing. These motherfuckers are like, well, it's just pro wrestling, of course. Oh, it's kayfabe. You fell for it. What? What did I fall for? You're a horrible storyteller. Yeah, I fucking fell for it. The match wasn't too bad, but when Tyson Kidd goes to say, what the hell are you doing, Natalya? Because it made no sense in the kayfabe world or the real world. And then he turns around, and R-Truth hits him with a finisher, and R-Truth defeats him, and the Tyson Kidd storyline goes on forever. You know what? I've never watched Total Divas because I'm better than Boom Boom and refuse to watch it. Maybe one day I'll fucking watch it. Says the man who watched to Legends House. Legends House was pretty horrible. But, yeah, I don't know. Out of all the Total Divas segments, the Natalya Tyson Kidd one is the best, and it's continuing from NXT. So I enjoy it. It's something I hate, but something I enjoy. The match was short, but it was two great athletes, so it was a bit of a tease. And that's what main event is. It's like, here's two great athletes, and it's over. Another situation that was Cesaro defeats Justin Gabriel. I was looking forward to this match, but it was really short. It was entertaining, but I just think when you have two great athletes like this on a C show, why not fucking give them time and let them go out there and show what we can do, what they can do, not what I can do. Like, I'm in the fucking ring, like I'm a fucking fat ass on the fucking computer, but show them what your athletes can do. Cesaro is playing the real life Sheamus, where he's telling bad jokes, and know what I fucking kind of hate about WWE. Dear WWE, just because we like someone doesn't mean you have the right to give them the shittiest gimmick. We like Cesaro. So, why don't we make him yodeling? Why don't we back him? Shut the fuck up, WWE. How about this? Instead of wasting all your fucking resources on people we fucking hate, God forbid you fucking put together a decent goddamn storyline without ruining it. Oh, man. I really think the WWE creative's like, what? This guy can wrestle? Check. This guy, the fans like him? Check. All right, dress him up in a ballerina and put a dildo in his ass and make sure that his finishing move is throwing fucking stardust around and saying, hey, guys, guess what? I don't fucking like pro wrestling and I don't like you. That'll show them to actually like one of our athletes. But the match was short, very enjoyable. Cesaro defeats Gabriel. So there you go. Bam, bam. All right, and then the last match, this ain't my style of wrestling, but I really enjoyed this. They showed the highlights of Rusev and Rusev and the Big Show on Monday Night Raw, and I really don't enjoy big man matches because WWE is like, look, he's got muscles. That means he doesn't try. There's very few Mike Awesomes in the world, but these guys have bodybuilder builds to them, and they actually still try in the ring. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. Like, if you had Big E, if most wrestlers had Big E's build or Rusev's build and a push, they just wouldn't fucking try. They just be like, look, I'm big. I mean, look at Big Show, 90% of his fucking career. But these guys, they're young, and they don't realize that they can mail it in because they got muscles. No one is fucking informed them of that. And I usually do not like big man wrestling because I don't fucking get it. It's like, wow, a big guy that can't fucking do shit, but look at those muscles. I don't fucking get it. But these guys, they have the muscles and the hustle, and they can go. And to me, I really enjoyed this match. It gave it a little bit of time, and they really told the story in the ring. And it's just they did a good job. You know, I bury WWE a lot, but I have to give them props. they did a good job of telling a story and helping both guys in the match look strong. So I enjoyed it a lot. And mostly it was just storylines going into Hell in a Cell. Which, you know what? The fact that John Cena and Randy Orton are battling each other at Hell in a Cell sucks balls. But the fact that he doesn't have a chance. Because beforehand, I don't think I was looking forward to watching it when John Cena had a chance to beat both of them. But now that John Cena's fighting Randy Orton, that's good. That's like a halftime show. You know, I live in Japan, so I have to wake up in the morning to watch these pay-per-views the next day, time-wise. And, yeah, it would be great if John Cena and Randy Orton was first, so I could just fucking sleep in. Or, you know, have a nice little halftime show because you're not going to watch it. Or possibly, if it is the main event, that's great. We could just set up. We'll just start the review show right afterwards. All right, so there you go. Overall, I gave it a win. Little asterisk win on main event level. A lot of short matches, but a lot of decent athletes. Is it worth your time? If you got an extra hour, bam, watch it. I think it's worth your time. You know, you won't get no 5-star matches. I don't know. It really just depends. You got shit to do? Maybe not. So it's definitely can't miss television, but usually main event isn't can't miss. As a matter of fact, WWE really isn't can't miss television. I mean, here's my question, and I don't know if anybody's going to make it this long in a main event review. Main event is one of our worst review shows. But here's my question. How many weeks do you think you can go not watching WWE and feel like you have missed nothing? You know, I'm like, if you go a whole year, you know, like last year, Daniel Bryan and all that. So I think if you go a whole year, yeah, you can't go. But do you think you could miss like 3 pay-per-views and the story's exactly the same? So my question to you, besides win, loss, and tie, if anyone's listened this far, if you listen to yourself this far, give yourself a Barry Horowitz. But if you have listened this far, how many weeks, months? I don't think you can go a year. I honestly don't think you can go a year. I know a lot of people might fucking be sarcastic, be like, hey, it's a year. But how many weeks/months do you think you can not watch any WWE television? Sit back down and someone doesn't have to tell you what's going on. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah, same shit's going on. I'm thinking maybe 2 months. I think you could sit out 1 to 2 months. We'll say 6 weeks. I think you could sit out 6 weeks of WWE, missing maybe a pay-per-view or 2, and sit back down and be like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. And I'm not talking about because their video package is so good. I'm about like fucking nothing happens. Nothing happens. All right, so please like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Monday Night Raw review and also all of our other videos. We did TNA Bound for Glory video. And please check out Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net. It takes you to the same place. It's where the world comes to kick ass. Your home for combat sports, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. So with that, go to Kocosports.com. I am over.